Hello everyone and thanks for hanging out with it. This is, I can't even say it, this is Let's Talk EV, usually on Sunday at 7:15 p.m. My chair making noise. Yeah, today main topic is the ID Treffen, the meeting of ID cars, or there were two MEB cars, not ID cars there, that I was on Friday. And before that, we go a bit through the news, talk a bit, see who's there. 32 people are here. Live stream so far is good. I have a green thing here at OBS and hope it stays that way. Last week it went into red for whatever reason that I never know. Hello, who are you? Donovan Schmidt, did you say something? You're a member. Are you a new member? Grow M is here, always nice to see. 48 people now, that's good. Don't forget to press the like. I don't know why. I just do it. And thanks to the Patreons for being here. It's also good cheese here. That is good. And then, yes, talk about what happened last week, what's gonna happen to you. It's glad to meet you again. Oh, did we meet on Friday? We didn't exchange names, I guess. And if I'm horrible with names, I apologize already. I'm horrible with names. I forget them instantly and forget what the person was about or whatever. I'm horrible. Yeah. And I'm horribly, awkwardly antisocial. Okay. Let's go through some news first. And what do we have first? Skoda is starting the Enyaq production again from now on. Hi from Zwickau, that's cute. Does it say exactly when? 1,000 cars per week? Really? Really? That's not a lot. I thought it would be a bit more. But this is happening. I didn't even know that they stopped that long. Then next there will be a Polestar 2 update. It will get a bigger battery, improved cell chemistry. It goes to 69 kilowatt hours up to 5 kilowatt hours from 64. WLTP range is up by 7 to 8%. Electric motor is now 170 kilowatt instead of 165. Faster charging up to 130. Is this the small one? What is this? Because I've seen the other one already charging at 150. Heat pump has an improved optimal temperature range, now between -7 and 25 degrees. That's cool. That is really cool. There's no word about increase of battery capacity. No, it's a standard range. Okay, yeah. I never drove the standard range. Never did. Hello from Zwickau. Hello from Belgium. That's cool. Why I say cool so many times. I'm sorry, I know myself sometimes. What's happening with Ionity? We have a new one in Britain. I want to see that. That started construction in the UK. And what went live this week? Only one in close to Berlin. I know that charger. That was in construction for a while. It was this one here, because on the way to Berlin from here Passau, I would go up here, and this is Nempit's very busy Ionity charger, and then this was missing to get to Berlin in a good way. And what is the one in the UK? Must be, is it this one? Magor or Stafford? No, Stafford is there for a while. It must be that one down here. Aha. So not a lot going on with Ionity as well. It's all the same, nothing changed. Bing! Marty's here. Hi from Zurich. Grüß Gott. Then I close this here. Yeah, let's talk about what happened last week and what's gonna happen this week. I did a few things last week. 64 people. Hello everyone. Only 21 likes. Yeah, I'm pushing the likes today. Yes. South Africa is greeting. That's cool. What time is it there? Is it? It's not. Is it even a different time zone? Because when you go like this, it's not that much different, is it? It's just south like crazy. Toch auch. So what happened last week? So a few weeks ago, I got in contact, or they got in contact with me. Avilu, an Austrian company that has made a device and a procedure to measure your capacity of your high voltage battery in your EV, and they even have it certified by TÜV. Hey Marty, how are you? Um, and they sent me a device, and I will make a video about this. But I did the test. I don't know the outcome yet. So what the battery capacity of Volta is. Oh, so same time zone. Yeah, I thought so. Um, but I did the test, and it worked very flawlessly. And like I said, I will make a whole video about it, and then what the test said and everything. It's a great idea. I find this a very cool idea. You'll see it in the video, that it's not just a readout of the battery, and it's not just what the manufacturer says. It's real testing from 100% to 10%, and they've tested several cars from 10% to not driving anymore, so they know what they can get out of the battery from 10 to 0%, and you drive from 100 to 10, and then they can give you the capacity of your battery. And again, it's extremely accurate, and it's very it's certified by whatever. It's in Germany, it's the TÜV. I don't know what's in other countries. And for example, they can also see if there's a cell or something not working properly. And you can do the test very simply. You just drive it down. It doesn't have to be in one setting. It can be with you charge the car to 100%, and within 7 days you drive it down to 10%, and you can drive however you want. You can preheat the car. You can drive like a crazy person. You can drive slow. Whatever you want, you do. You just can't charge. That's the thing. And you have to drive it down to 10%, and then you get a message. I got email and a text message that, when I see it in the car, it's 10%, and then they say 2 days later you get the result what your battery capacity is, and they read out a lot of data points every second, and then they know exactly what cell had which temperature and what voltage and how much power was getting out of the battery. And so they can tell you at the end very accurately if the battery is okay, if all the cells are fine. So if you have a car and you say, I don't know, I don't get a lot of range, maybe the battery is not perfect, and then you give it to the car dealer and they say, it's fine, we read it out and there's no problem. They can detect even if one cell is not working properly and stuff like that. So that's cool, and I wanted to do that, so I'm excited what the test for Walter will be. I will get it this week, and then I can keep the device, and then they have to configure the device to your car, has to fit with your car, and you get adapters because every car has a different OBD port on a weird point, and you have different adapters, and then they can program it to other cars. Chris, did you see the new charge curve of 77 kWh battery in mach-e forum? Goes over 120 till over 50. 5%, 56 kilowatt hours in 28 minutes. No, I have not. I also have not driven a big battery. It's not true. I have driven, but I haven't charged it yet. No, so I don't know. I haven't seen, and I'm not on forums, so I would never know. I test myself and then I know. But that's cool that till 55% it's 120 kilowatt. The GTX would even be better. I saw the charging curve of a GTX. The meeting was last Friday, the warm-up. The real meeting of ID Treffen is in Switzerland in September. I put a link here in the description of this live stream. Yes, what else happened this week? I think that was it. I didn't do too much, except for then 2 days after each other, Friday and Saturday, were crazy for me because I drove 1,600 kilometers in Walter. I drove 16 hours in Walter, 3 hours in different car, and that's it. Yeah, it was on Friday at 6 a.m. I went to Zwickau, where we met for the ID Treffen, and it was really cool. Driving there was fine. It wasn't that cold. I needed a bit of heat, but I have the summer tires on, so consumption was okay. I could drive 230 kilometers. On the highway, I drove 130. At the end, I slowed down to 120 or so for the last 20 kilometers or so and turned down the heat a bit. So because I did that because I wanted to do the battery test and drive under 10%. And I could have charged before at Ionity, but I drove all the way to Citywatt in Tiersheim. They have 10 300 kilowatt chargers there, and I have been there before. I like that charger. It's very remote and you have your alone time there. I like that. It's good when you go to a meeting. So I charged there and then went on to Zwickau. I didn't have to charge that much. After that, it's like 120 kilometers or so. I charged to, can't remember, 50, 60% or 70? I can't remember. Couldn't tell you. I tried to use a better route planner as I did the last time when I drove to Dresden. When was that? When I drove with the ID bus. Was some in the end of March? I think so. No. That was in the end of February. Yes, mid-March I went to Wolfsburg and I used a better route planner with an OBD dongle that sends the state of charge to a better route planner and with Android Auto in the car. And they updated, I would say, every 2 weeks, maybe even more often. And this time the update, the software didn't work at all. So there were 3 things not working and it was annoying, so I had to stop. First of all, the state of charge is flickering, the display, and it's totally annoying when you're driving and it's something flickering there all the time. It showed it the right amount, but it was just flickering. That was annoying. Then I couldn't change the map view. So in Android or in a better route planner, you can see to north in 3D, then your whole trip where you have to go, and then what was? I thought there was a 4th view. What was the other one? I think not north, up, or whatever, in your driving direction, and then you can go back. But this doesn't work. It couldn't do that. And the worst thing was, you see your position on Android Auto where it's going, and then when I put the phone in standby, so just that it's dark, it's still on, then the GPS position wasn't in there anymore. The map didn't move, so I had to turn on the phone again. So there's a display. I can see Android, a better route planner. Then it would show that, and I said I'm not gonna have my phone on the display for 4 hours. Or on the way back from Dresden back 5 hours. Nah. So I used the normal navigation from the of the ID3, and I love the navigation of the ID3. A lot of people are hating it, and yes, it's stupid if you want charges added to it, and it cannot estimate the state of charge that you will arrive, even in 3.0. Let me swallow. It will show you the state of charge that you will arrive, but it not will consider elevation change and stuff. So that's or weather or whatever. So that's not good. It was just see the consumption that you have and then calculates that. So that's not very good. But I love the navigation overall. I love how it zooms in. I love how it looks like. It loves how it tells me not the street names. Just go right into 2 kilometers. Prepare to turn right. Turn right, and I like the Volkswagen ID3 navigation a lot. How it's bringing me somewhere. Not the finding stuff is hard. So when you put in a charger somewhere, it doesn't have all the chargers. So sometimes you just have to navigate to something that's nearby, so you find it. Ionities are usually in there, but even then, when you put in Ionity Holzkirchen Süd, it doesn't find it. Then you have to go there and then you see it. That's annoying. That's totally correct. But the navigation itself, I love. So I used that to go there. So I went to Zwickau. I was there an hour or 45 minutes too early, and I wanted to do that so I don't have stress. And I also wanted to take a few pictures and drone footage and film a bit, but there were already a few people there, and I think when I arrived it didn't take long till 10 cars were there, and then they came very fast, and at the end I think it should have been 35 cars, 50 people, and then Volkswagen came, 2 people that I know, one with an ID.5 and one came with the ID bus, still the camouflaged. It was the car that I drove in the end of February. And I know them both very well. They're very nice people. Yes, and we met, and like I said, I filmed a bit. There was a guy from Volkswagen there who filmed, and I will get some footage from him because inside the factory of Zwickau I wasn't allowed to film or take pictures, but he was allowed, and he will film, cut something together, we'll show it to Volkswagen, and they will go through and see if there's something that cannot be shown to other car companies or just people who wants to know what's happening. And then I will get it. And so the video will take a while because I know Volkswagen now. So he will, I'm sure he will edit this together within this week. But then when he gets it to Volkswagen, it will be surely taking 2 to 3 weeks till it's being considered okay. You can present that. So I'm saying at this ID meeting, either I leave out what he wants to give me, or I wait 3 to 4 weeks. We'll see when I have to contact him and see how that's happening. But like people came, we all talked. Susanne, servus. We talked. Had a few people recognized me. That was very nice. And if someone is here from there, I apologize right away. I know I'm really socially awkward. I don't have any friends. I know you can't believe that, eh? No, it's Cindy and me, and we do stuff. I'm busy, so I don't have any social meetings. I see people at work, and that's it. That's totally it. I don't see anyone else. I don't have friends that I go out and do something with. I did that before I met Cindy, before I was married, and I don't know. I'm very antisocial. It always has been that way. The new who you were, did you hire the man with a signboard saying you are famous? Yeah, that's true. At least the video now already, but later create a director's cut. Maybe I do that. We'll see. I ask how long it will take, and maybe they say, oh, it will be 2 weeks, and then maybe I wait. We'll see. I haven't edited yet. I have put everything on a hard drive, but I haven't done anything yet. It was a busy weekend, like I said, and I don't know if you can see it. I'm extremely tired. I was dead on Friday evening when I came home. On Saturday morning I was okay. Then going to the next event I was, which I sorry cannot talk about because there's an embargo on it for another 10 days. I was not in the best mood and then they screwed something up and I was really pissed. But then I did a different test because the other test then didn't work, and I went home. And then I was okay. Yesterday evening I was okay. This morning I was okay, but today since dinner I need sleep. I'm really tired. Sometimes when you're tired you talk a lot. Yeah, that's me. So like I said, I apologize to the people that were there, and I was totally weird. That's how I am with other people that I don't know. I don't know what to say. If they ask me questions, I talk. So if they say, hey, what was this? What do you think about this? Da, 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 da. But I'm totally weird. For me, it's hard to do small talk and ask stuff back, which would be nice and normal, show interest in people. I also grew up pretty much alone. My parents didn't. They pushed me away and said, go to your room. And I was all my childhood alone. So that's how I am. So I'm not again, I didn't have too many friends. I'm a poor guy. No. So apologies. and I was spending my time more on filming than talking to people. Yeah. So then we met all up. We went inside the factory in Zwickau. If you don't know, Zwickau is where all MEB platform cars except for the ID bus are being built. So ID3, ID4, ID5 right now. Cupra Born and Audi Q4 e-tron are being built there, and it's different lines. On one line it's ID3, ID4 and Cupra Born, and then on the other line it's again ID4, but then ID5 and the Q4 e-tron. I don't know what's the difference between those two ID4 things, but doesn't matter. So we went into the factory, and as usual with Volkswagen, but it was better than Wolfsburg. When I was in Wolfsburg in mid of March, to get inside the factory was like going into a prison. I mean, ID, show me this, show me that, we have to take a picture and and you have to sign stuff. And then I couldn't even walk around inside the Wolfsburg Autostadt. They drove me in, and you cannot walk around everywhere. If you want to go somewhere, they drive you there and drive you back. So and here it was better. We could walk in normal, and the factory is big. It's not Wolfsburg big, but it's big. No Skoda coins to be. No, Skoda is being built in Czech Republic. Czech. Yeah, I don't know. I'm very bad with that. You know that. So Chris, now what's inside a prison is like. I would never been to a prison, but this is what I see in movies and TV shows. That's what I'm suggesting here. So we went in, we met up, and there was the Volkswagen press guy from the transparent factory of Saxony. I met him a few times. I met him 2 years ago when I was allowed to drive an ID3 before the car was delivered to people, where I drove an ID3 in Dresden. I made a video about that where I could say a friend. Now I'm saying this, a friend at Volkswagen was there with an ID4 back then, when the ID4 didn't have even his world premiere and had the camouflage and everything on. I made the video about it, and even a tiny little live stream back then, 20 seconds or so. And and I met that press person again when I received my ID3, and he was very happy with me, how I was with the journalists. By the way, I'm trying. They told me a while ago, and I always forget. So when I picked up my ID3 in September 2020, almost more than 1.5 years ago, I filmed how I got there. I filmed after I got the car, and how I drove home. That was what I showed you in the video. What I didn't show you, because I was in there and nobody was there with me to film it, is how I received the car. There was press there. There was, I don't know, 25 people with cameras and microphones and journalists, blah, blah, blah. And I received the car, drove out of the Dresden, I don't know how you call it. It's the thing where they deliver the cars. It is behind the door, and then it opens up. Then you get in the car and drive out. I did that, and then outside, when I got out of the car, there were all those press people staring at me and asking me questions for 5-6 minutes or so, not very long. And before the whole thing happened, I also never saw that. Good. I had a live interview on a German television, NTV, where she asked me 3 questions, and that was it. It took a minute or something. But on live television, my knees were extremely weak, and I was shaking, and then and trying as a Bavarian to speak normal German when you're nervous. That was interesting. But I'm trying to get somebody at Volkswagen filmed that, I heard. So when I received the car, when I go out, and then they ask me stuff. So I'm trying to get that footage so I can present that to you, because that would be interesting. I have to ask them again who has the footage. Hopefully it still exists. I've never seen it. I so want to see that. But so again, there was the press spokesperson, whatever you want to call it, from Volkswagen Saxony, and he introduced us and said, okay, this is they had people visiting and looking at the factory before, but since Corona or COVID, they didn't have anyone there to look at the factory. Yes, we can have a good laugh. Chris acting like Mr. Bean. If you get in those situations more often, you will get used to it. Well, I'm a bit more used to it now. And I've seen that yesterday. I've been asked yesterday. I've been asked to do something in German to film a tiny little thing. It was like a minute long, and I did 2 takes, and it was fine. I got really good with it. First of all, me doing it in English, always in front of the camera for myself. And when I was with the ID Deutschland tour, remember that in September of 2020. I had to speak in front of the camera in German a few times and present something, and I don't know. It's just it is okay with me. I'm always nervous before, and I always sound the same. But I always sound the same in English as well. So you know how it is. So there are a few videos on the Deutschland Tour, ID3 Deutschland Tour YouTube channel of me explaining the ID3 and explaining charging and stuff like this. Yeah, but in German. Hi from Switzerland. Hey, you always like my Twitters. Nobody is interested in my Twitters, and that's totally fine. I get that. Not a lot of people follow me on Twitter or Instagram. That's totally fine. It's a tiny little group of 200 people. That's cool. Yeah, with the giant Volkswagen Charger. Yeah, I did that too. I did that, then I had to show the car. Then we met somewhere else. I showed the car in more detail. Then we met somewhere else where we looked at an Eon charger. I think it was Eon. No, it was ENBW. I don't know. It was a long time ago. So now Chris is available for after dinner speaking. Yeah, totally. That's me. Sorry. So I didn't have any groups there to show the factory in a long time. We were the first time to go in there and get a little tour. And we did 2 tours. One was in the Karosseriebau. I don't know what this is in English, where they take the parts of the car and put it together. So left side, right side, roof, whatever, something like this. Body shop. Is that a body shop? I thought body shop is painting, but I'm not good. Yeah, you must be right. And the other thing was then putting stuff into the car until it's done. And they explained body assembly. Thank you. Only if they are very brave children. Yeah, that's true. Children's birthday parties. Yeah, that would be cool. Oh my god. I visited Opel factory once in Bochum. Cool. Yeah, but it was cool to see the line of and oh, my frame rate is off as usual. Turn the camera off. Wait 2 seconds. Turn the camera on. See if it works. Yes, it does. I zoom a bit in so you don't. And by the way, robe is here. Even though I put out the bathrobe edition. Finnegan is not up here yet, but he will come soon. And then I'm putting up his food and everything. Yes, so we were divided into 2 groups. One group, we went first into the finishing up the car, and it was just so interesting to see that. It was really amazing to see how the whole cockpit, there's an empty car, there are no seats or anything in there, and then a gigantic robot is taking the whole cockpit that's been pre-assembled. So except for the steering wheel, everything, the display, everything is there, and it puts it in the car and screws it onto the frame, and then the next car. Right now, because of the Ukraine situation and COVID, they're putting out 500. I think 500 cars or so. Usually they do 3 shifts, and right now they only do 2 shifts, so from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. I think. And usually they should do 750 cars, but now they do 500 cars, something like this. And on the day we were there, they had a special meeting. It was only 300 cars on the day or so. But I've seen many cars. I would have loved to see a VIN and tell if someone is here that's waiting for the car. I've seen a British car being built, so steering wheel on the right, And I've seen American ID4s being built where the Volkswagen logo has a light in it. That looks cool. I've never seen that before in real. But it was cool to see the car being built together and people working, screwing something in, and then putting OB. I saw that. We were there where they put the software on it, so you can see the screen's instrument cluster and the normal infotainment screen is totally off, and then they put the OBD thing on, and they hang a device there, and then the software is being put into the car, and then it moves on and do something else, and then I don't know how long it takes, but I don't think it was that long. Then they can take it off, and then the battery and the you know, the old undercarriage, no, not the right word, is all done. So you have the battery, you have the brakes, you have the motor, you have the front, you have the air conditioning, heat pump or PTC heater. Everything in the bottom is done, even up to the charge port, and then the top comes, and then whoop, underneath, and then gets screwed on. I think they told, I don't know how many there were, 23 screws, where it's all connected, and then I can't remember how much it was, but it was really, really cool to see that all. Yes, I love my lit up emblem. Yeah, Opel also had Vauxhall label cars for UK. Are you talking about Tesla plant? No, I'm talking about Volkswagen plant in Zwickau. Yes, then we were there for half an hour, 40 minutes or so. It was a bit of a walk there, but it was fine. And good evening, Photostorm. And they even have a brake. I had no idea that in this day and age, I understand that workers have a brake, but the whole assembly line stands still for 20 minutes or so. It was 11:45. Either it was 15 minutes, 20 minutes, or half an hour. I can't remember. But everything is standing still. Nothing is moving. I was, hey, nowadays you still do that? And then he showed us, like I said, the battery into the chassis. That was very, very interesting. I love the lit up door handles and the puddle light too. Tomorrow my ID4 will be picked up by dealership. I'm receiving front door tinting, ceramic treatment of the body, and protective clear bra. What's a protective clear bra? Don't you need that? Ha ha ha, I'm so funny. Colorado roads are hard on paint. Ooh. And hard on tires. How it's made. Videos of Volkswagen maybe factory on YouTube. Also in there. Cool. No breaks, 24 hours, a day shift. They need to get the whips out. Yeah, it's true. Now the problem is the parts. They would love to build more cars. Don't I tell you that. And they had a graph where it shows how many orders they have. I think they have 250,000 orders for cars. And that's why when they build 500 a day, that's why it takes so many months till you get your car. I think it was 200 or maybe 230,000 cars. And they even showed which is which. So ID3, Cupra Born, ID4, ID5, and so on. It was a really neat chart. I couldn't take a picture. They would be doing it. Amazing. Just home after 255 kilometers drive, 10% the first time charging now at the new public charger in front of my house. That's cool. Yes, then we went to the Kantine, whatever that is, the factory food part. Cloud Clear Pro is a thick sticker film across the front and part of the hood. Ah, it protects the paint chips caused by rocks. Oh, no idea. Never heard that term ever. Yes, so, and we went into the canteen. Maybe it's this the right word. It's going to take 500 days, I think, to build for all the orders. Yeah, that is I think that's the delivery time right now. Hey, Blauzon, the hydrogen pope. That sounds about right. 500 days, huh? That what delivery time that is right now. And so we went to the canteen in Zwickau, and it's a real city. There's a hospital there. There was stuff, all the stuff famous Volkswagen car was. No, there wasn't there. They had a few different things, and it was amazing. Of course, you do pay with cash. We got the food for free one, we paid in advance, but nobody's using cash. They have their employee card and they can fill it up with money, and then they just do this, and they have had different options to choose from, and I'm a COVID head. What's your thoughts on Elon Musk buying Twitter? Can we follow you on Twitter? You can follow me on Twitter, but the only thing what's on Twitter is the Instagram posts that are being automatically shown on Twitter. About Elon Musk and Twitter, I don't know. I'm not an expert on IT stuff. I don't know what this means, if it's better or worse. I don't even use Twitter, really. Not really. They cannot take money to work, or bullies may take their dinner money. Yeah. Yeah, but the prices were amazing. It was like a whole food for €3 here and €2 there. That was nice to see, and the whole area was very a lot of windows, and you can see everything. I liked it. It was very nice. After food, we went then to the body shop, like I said. Then there was a different person who's the boss of this area, whatever. In what year do you think we will get the 3.1 version? 2025, that's my thing. Yes, and so I think we went to the body shop, a different guy. 2031, it's also a good guess. Yeah, talk to them about that, by the way. Yeah, I mean, I know what's going on a bit behind the scenes. I'm sorry that I can't tell you. If it's not being told by Volkswagen, I can't tell you. And some things are understandable. I get it. I can see how this may take time and delay something. And some things are like, why? Just all I'm saying. Just seen the new charging curve for ID 77 kW pack above 100 kW until 73%. Huge improvement. Yeah, that's cool. For the like I said, for the 58, there's not a lot of improvement. Running gag, some news about 2.4 update. No. Yeah. Again, it's been delayed, I think, 4 times now. That's all I can say. There's nothing is set right now. That's what I heard on the weekend. There's no where it starts. They just don't know. Just for information, American ID4s don't have 2.3 yet. Word is that we'll get it this month or so. And how do you get it? Over the air, or do you have to go to the dealer? That would be interesting. So we went to the body shop. He explained a lot of things. We can look how robots. The body shop is 90% just robot parts. Only a few people there. He told us the whole line. There were only 10 people working there. And you can just see how a car becomes a car out of parts, and because they are doing different versions of cars, like I said, ID3, ID4, Cupra Born, they even have different robots that change their front part for the next car or whatever. That was also cool to see. I burped, sorry. It was just cool to see how the whole thing became a car. What it did, of course, I'm not stupid, we're all not stupid, but we see our car and something special to us. But when you see a car going off the line every few minutes, and you see an ID3 going here, ID3 there, you see outside the parking lot, there are, I don't know how many 100 ID3s, ID4s. There was a train there with hundreds of ID3, ID4s. Then I don't know, it becomes nothing special when you see it that way. But then when you climb into your own car, then it's, yeah, that's Walter, that's fine. It's different here. And we're one of the first, it's okay. Big news flash, Chris is not stupid. That's breaking news. Yeah, it's true. You're always mean to me. I'm on to you, Mr. David. I'll be mean to you. Now, less robots, more androids. Yeah. But it was cool to see, and then we went back to the parking lot. We all met. ID5 came there, and the ID bus, it was parked somewhere else before. We then had the plan to go all in a convoy to Dresden. So from Zwickau to Dresden, that's an 80-minute drive or so. And we were all driving behind each other, and then the going out of the parking lot was filmed by a drone and by a person there, and then the car that he would go by filming outside of a car, filming us. And we drove out, and for half an hour we drove after each other. It was a cool view to see 30. I mean, there were always a few other cars in between. We can't do that because 35 cars behind each other, it's a long, long stretch. Do you think changing the color to the default would speed up in order? No, it won't. It will not. It's again, we have the horrible frame rate. Oh, I pressed the wrong button. I pressed on record. Are we back? Yes, we are. Normal. Yes, and so we drove off. Again, we got filmed. I did a bit with my GoPro, but I don't think that's seeing too much. You see the car in front, and when there's a corner, you see a bit more, but not really. But what happens when you have 35 cars and people are driving in, driving out, people have to brake. We drove so slowly. Oh my God. We drove with 70 on the highway or something, sometimes at 100, then it slowed down. And the problem was, I knew I have to drive home that day, the latest at 5, so I'm home at 10, because on the next morning at 7 I went to the next event and I wanted to sleep. No accidents, no, nothing happened. And so I knew in Dresden I have to charge a bit, so on the way home I don't have to charge that long. So I thought, so I passed them and drove with my normal speed, 130, 140. And in Zwickau, they reserved charging 11 kilowatt chargers for us. I charged full. I arrived, I think, with 30%. And while we were on tour, I charged to 100%. Then drove to Dresden. I think I arrived there with 60-something%. Charged there as well. The hour that I was there to 80% or so. Our dealer told us the 2.4 would be available in the second half of May. He doesn't know that. I'm sorry. If they couldn't tell me yet, then he doesn't know. I'm sorry. Yes, the problem, only one person knew the way. No, the way everybody knew. Zwickau, the Trabi City, maybe to EV Trabi, like the IDBs. Yeah, they told us about that too. Trabi, and something else was built there the first time. What was it? They told us. I can't remember what it was. So yes, we drove to Dresden. Then I filmed the arrival of the cars. I was only there, I think 7-8 minutes before I arrived, and then I put in a charging cable to charge with AC. Then prepared the camera, prepared the GoPro for cars coming over the bridge. There's a nice little bridge in Dresden, but only one car at a time can drive over this bridge because it cannot hold 2 or more cars. That's why it was someone there. A car drove down, and when it was down, the next car could drive. So it took a bit. I filmed all of this, and then we went all inside. I was at the transparent factory many times. Then, unfortunately, I had to leave. Like I said, at 5 p.m. But the day went on for them. So after I left, there would have been first a little talk about of a few different Volkswagen people, and then the Daniel, the one who also organized. There were a few people organizing the whole thing. He was one of them who invited me, and I think then they would have another dinner, and then it would go on till 11 p.m. But I drove home at 5 p.m. It was just enough, and I drove, like I said before, 5 hours to get to Dresden, and then 5 hours home in one. And it always takes around 5 hours to get from Dresden home. I think that's okay. When you consider charging, I charged it at our pulse as I always do on the way home for 10-15 minutes. Then in Tiersheim only very short, and then at Ionity. That in Tiersheim wouldn't have needed, but I didn't want to slow down. And I thought, let's charge for 5 minutes so I can drive my normal speed. Yeah, after I left, the party started doing strippers, yeah. And then Ionity in Straubing and home. And I was home at 5 minutes after 10. I wanted to be at home at 10. I really got home, brushed my teeth and went to bed. I fell asleep really fast, so I was tired. This was extremely exhausting. You get a headache when you drive 10 hours a day and you have to, and then in between, so I was from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. I was like they work at Zwickau. I was on the road 10 hours of driving, and then in between filming and thinking, how can you film this? I need the drone up here, I want to film that. And it wasn't stress, but it's work. And I was exhausted, had a headache. And always when I do this, I used to go to the disco in Straubing. Ooh, there's a disco. I mean, I'm sure there's a disco, but I wouldn't know where and how the name of that thing is. Yeah, when I'm at events and they're in a weird time, where is battery life today normally here? I don't know what that means. What was I saying? Yeah, when I am at events where I have to drive a lot, so eating while driving is not very nice. So you do it while charging, but then sometimes I have to film while I'm charging, so it's a bit stressful. Then I don't eat enough, I don't drink enough, and then I get a headache. I don't get the nutrients that I need, and it's always like that because I have to do this, and this is more important right now. How much was your highway consumption on the way at home, and which speeds? I drove between 130 and 160, and I think it was 200. On the first leg it was under 200 watt hours per kilometer because it was really warm. I didn't need AC or a heat. So that was good, but then I think somewhere in the middle it got colder and I needed a bit of heat. The consumption went a bit higher, and then the last, I don't know, the last part I drive full highway 160 because I want to get home. I'd rather charge 5 minutes more, but then woo! I don't know if it's needed, but usually I charge and then I drive and then I arrive with average speed estimated. Well, with charging it was 100 because it's 500 kilometers and I drove 5 hours, so pretty much exactly. But average speed driving, I don't know, 115, 120, something like this, I would say. Yeah. Then next morning I woke up at 5 something. Had my coffee, so I'm alive, and then at 7 a.m. I went to Austria to the next event that I was invited. That originally was on Friday and Saturday, but I couldn't make Friday, and so I was just there on Saturday. And they even called me, hey, you're just coming on Saturday. No one's gonna be there anymore. All the stuff when you have questions would have been on Friday, and I said, it's fine, I just want to drive the car. And they said, okay, then come here and you can drive the car. When will you be there? And I said, I'm estimating around 11. But I went off a bit earlier. I drove there at 7 a.m., not at 8 a.m. And so I was there at 10 a.m. I only charged once in between at Ionity. I arrived there at 10. I came there and didn't have a car for me. Yes, blah, blah, blah. And it wasn't that if I would have been there at 11, the car would be there. I waited 1.5 hours or so. They did something else with me, but this was not that why I was there. So I waited 1.5 hours and then the car arrived and I didn't do what I wanted to do, but the location was also not something where I could do the test that I wanted. That was a bit sad. But you can always have what you want. I had a bit of fun with the car. I checked out a few things, made 2 videos, did again a bit of drone footage, so it's not just me in front of the car and driving. And then I gave the car back and drove home. I drove home at 1:30, so I drove only 2 hours with the car. So I drove 6 hours to get there. Drove 2 hours with a new car and drove 3 hours back. And on the way back, I had to charge twice, and it was so nice. They had a garage with a lot of. They didn't have charging stations, but they brought out 22 kilowatt little whatever boxes. The GT was already, Kia EV6 GT Drive was already with other, and Kia doesn't like me. They don't invite me to things because I don't make German videos. They don't invite me to anything. I'm already given up on Kia. That's not gonna happen. Same with press cars. They're not giving me anything. And I tried to argue with them and explain to them that this is not a good strategy, but they didn't care. They have enough journalists to show their car. They don't care about me, and I don't want to do German videos. So yes, we're not a fit. The same with Mercedes and Renault. They're different reasons, but they also don't want to give me cars. Then where was I? Yeah, in the garage they had 22 kilowatt industrial thingies, plugs, and then they put they had, I don't know, 10, 15 juice boosters there where I could charge. But I think at 60 something percent, I arrived with 20% or so. Charging stopped, and I couldn't see it in the app because down in the garage the car didn't have internet connection. It was so no mobile connection down there, so I couldn't check. If you were there in Zwickau, I was the lady who left with the V8. Where was there a V8? I couldn't say, sorry. I didn't see you, I'm sorry. But a woman here, yes, the third woman today that's here. Or are there more? We have Susanne, we have you, and we have Gro M. Is anyone else? Women come forward. Where was I? Yes, so they had a lot of juice boosters to charge the car, and ID3 only charged to 60%. Then something, I don't know, stopped charging. I don't know what it was, because when I came there, the fuse was in, but it didn't charge. So I don't know what it was. Maybe the juice booster overheated or any something else, but there was no power. So I had to charge twice on the way home, but that's fine. I arrived again pretty close to 3 hours after that. And that was my weekend. Yes, so 1600 kilometers, 16 hours of driving plus 2 hours of driving with the test car. Yes, and I have a lot of charges on WeCharge and EMBW. So I only use WeCharge at Ionity, and I used EMBW on other chargers, and it's fine. I think that the most expensive charge was one EMBW. No, yes, for 20 euros. And as in Dresden, the chargers at the Volkswagen Mercedes, I crashed the interview. You could hear it. I had an interview. I didn't have an interview. It wasn't me. But sorry, I can't remember. Maybe it wasn't me. I never did an interview there. Where was I? I don't know where it was. What was I saying? God, I'm old. Dresden? What did I say about that? Ah, yes, thank you. Yeah, Dresden, something about charging prices. Yes, charging in Dresden, it doesn't matter if 11 kilowatt DC or 11 kilowatt AC or 22 kilowatt and 50 kilowatt DC. It's not for free. And in Zwickau at the factory, the same. And the same when I was in Wolfsburg and was charging there. And it's not, Chris is a doppelganger in Zwickau. It's not even that cheap. I haven't calculated it. But how much did I pay? How much did I pay charging in charge on the go charging session? There it is. I paid 16 euros 37 cent for 39.49 kilowatt hours. It's 41 cent. I mean, it's cheaper than EMBW AC what I have, but still. Because at Ionity I pay for 59 kilowatt hours 17.73 €. So full charge and an ID3 from 4% to 100% costs me roughly 18 euros. And then I can drive, I don't know, depending on how I drive. You were robbed on charging prices. Now I knew that it wasn't for free, but you need it when you're on the go. I rather pay and sometimes a bit more, but yes. So you get home and don't want to wait. It's just and I know my strategy now. I use mostly Ionity, but if Ionity is annoying, so I have to slow down, or it's too early. So there's an Ionity charger after 100 kilometers and then I have to go 300 kilometers. I don't charge there. Then I pay a bit more. With EMBW I pay 52 cents per kilowatt hour on every DC charger in Germany except for Ionity. And I don't even know if Volkswagen is cheaper. There will be a new charging thing from Volkswagen where Ionity will cost 35 cents and then other chargers, I can't remember. Next Move had it in their news. I got the email about that, but I didn't see the prices. I just saw that they will do a new pricing thing where every AC is the same and every DC will be the same. My hubby usually drives the ID4 to work and back. We charge Electric America once a week. I love the free charging deal for 3 years, not going to lie. Yeah, that is a great idea. Free charging for 3 years and without a limit. Volkswagen is 49 cent DC. Yeah, that's okay. But again, with EMBW I pay 52, so the 3 cent more. I rather have 30 cent on Ionity because I charge so much Ionity. All my tests, I charge all my charging tests, and when I do range tests, so really empty battery to full, I do at Ionity, and then 30 cent is better than 35. So I'm trying to keep that. I hope when my contract runs out in December this year, what's with me? A woman, Michelle. Electric America is 43 cents per kilowatt hour. That's also okay. But again, like I said, well, what is dollars in euros? I have no idea. Maybe it's even cheaper. I'm not good. We can look it up, but is it that important? Yes, so what's coming up this week? Well, the next few days, nothing. I have to go through the footage. It will be 1, 2, 3, 4 videos. One is the Avilo battery test, one is the test car, one is a different video, and one is the ID meeting Treffen. I will try to edit them until next 3 days. At home I charge around 11 cents. That's cheap. Yeah, that is amazingly cheap. Wow. And on Thursday I will get a press car finally, because I should have an Ioniq 5 rear-wheel drive right now, but it had an accident, so they didn't bring it. They wanted to give me a different car, but a week later, and then I wouldn't have time to test it, so I had to cancel. Yes, I'm getting the Polestar 2 single motor on Thursday for a week. date is this? 5th, May 5th. It's 51 yearly. It's not that big of a change. Huh. I thought it's more. $53 is 51 euros. And on Friday, this Friday, I go to Regensburg and will test drive the Tesla Model Y Performance built in Germany. It's in Regensburg. They have a little center there to give out cars, and they say it's without touch. So I had to do everything before, photograph my driver's license and everything. So I guess I just go there, get the key, and go. It would be cool. So I will be testing the drive with the performance. I won't charge. I won't do a range test. I will just drive a bit, and then that's it. And then take my Polestar home. The Polestar home. Yes. When I was a mere child, dollar was half the value of euros. Yeah. No, even I thought. I can't remember what dollar was for D-Mark. I have no idea. It was a long time ago. I remember Canadian dollars. I think it was 1.36 dollars or 1 euros when I was there. I think so. Can't remember. Been a long time. Did you see any ID cards from abroad at the ID meeting? Yeah, there were 2 or 3 were from Switzerland. And in Dresden, there was one from Italy, but I think he wasn't there for the meeting. He was on holidays, but thought he will go to the meeting as well. I think he talked to me. He was a nice guy. There were a few nice people there. Not that the other weren't nice, but the other people didn't talk to me. And that's okay. Like I said, socially awkward. So this week, like I said, will be those 2 tests, and then on the weekend I will do my tests with the Polestar 2 single motor. I will do a drive test, how it is different to the all-wheel drive model. Did you see my King's Red ID3 there? I saw a few King's Red there. I don't know if it was yours, but there was a few there. Don't make Chris remember or he will turn into Biden. That's true. I am already. I'm also, what is he, 70 something? And yes, so I will do this. And then the week after I get the Volvo XC40, also single motor, and I will only do 2 range tests with the car. No charging tests, no driving tests, because I already did that. So no change in that. I'm waiting for the Megane E-Tech tests. Me too. The Renault dealer, I think I asked him a month ago or so, said they're expecting the first cars to test in beginning of June. That would be in 4 weeks. We'll see if this is gonna happen. I have no idea. We'll see. But that's it for this week, and that's also it for me. Today's stream was great, always in green. I don't know why it was red last week and we had problems. But today I want to go down, watch a bit of television, just a bit, Netflix, and then go to bed early. Work week as usual. Our dealer also claims we could have ordered side sensor in a separate package, not in online configurator. So it's our fault. The maxed out ID3 with Systems Plus ordered July doesn't have them. Well, that's a jackass. If you cannot see it online, how would you know? And how would you? How in July would you know that you need that? Huh? Wales will get their first Ionity. Decompress. Yeah, that's stupid. You should tell the dealer to, finger to the sky. Different finger. I'm so PC, huh? I'm so nice. We keep it not R-rated. What is it? I don't know. I'm not good with that. Screw him! Yeah, he's an idiot. And I don't think you can, by the way, as far as I know, what I've been told by Volkswagen, cars that want to use the self-parking, memory parking, and travel assist with swarm data need hardware and sensors that are being built into the car since a month ago or 2 months ago, something like this. So maybe if you ordered in July and they will build it in a few months, then yes, maybe he's right. That's true. We've asked about Park Assist travel dealers at the time. Nobody told us, so it's probably BS. Yeah. Yeah, back then I'm pretty sure he had no idea this would come. Volkswagen knew, but he didn't know. And at that time it wouldn't have been in the configurator because it didn't exist. Now when you order an ID3, it doesn't say travel assist, by the way, but it should say if you want this option, the, I don't know, assistant package, whatever, 2 premium, whatever, then you get self-parking. You cannot leave, you have not told the 2-hour stories of a trip to the supermarket. Ha ha. Come on, you're always here, so you want those stories. Ha ha. Okay, I'm gonna go. Oh, thank you so much for being here. I'm dead tired. Will fall asleep on the couch. It would be amazing. Haven't done it in a long time. You all take care. I will see you next week. Hopefully, we'll see. Normally, it should be that way. Have a nice day, a nice night, nice evening, nice Sunday, whatever. Not 100 likes, that's true. Nobody likes anymore. There were 445 people watching this stream in the last hour and only 54 likes. So, nobody likes me. That's what it is. Ha! And I saw that at the meeting. No, nobody liked me. Okay, that's it for me. Cindy's in bed, but I will tell her tomorrow. Good evening to you too. Thank you much for watching. Have a great day and take care. We have the intro, which is also the outro.